Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Can't get enough of that intro. Hello,
Right?
boxing fans. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Panel featuring Mike Orr and Graham Boyce live in the house tonight. And boy, we got a big weekend of boxing coming up for sure. But I just want to start off this particular episode with a bit of news out of Bahamas. It caught my eye today, and it was a little too late for my news show this morning, but I thought I'd bring it up tonight. Why? Because it is Female Friday, and there's an all-female bout going on in the Bahamas. So I was really surprised when I came across this article because it features Jessica Camara. And I'm not, and actually, if you Google it, I'm not sure if this fight's actually happening. But anyway, I just want to tell you two things. One, the promoter said, this is something exciting. It will bring the Bahamas into the introduction of female boxing and be the first all-female show, not just in the Bahamas, but in the Caribbean. This will also encourage more females to join the sport. There's also a self-defense mechanism for them. And the marketing logistics director for the event, Quentin Brennan, said they are also fighting for the cure. We're now trying to reintroduce boxing to our community. It has taken a little hiatus over the past couple of years, and what a way to come back at it. This event is positioned very strategically in that it is the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also the end of the month, and we're trying to tie it to the beginning of Sports Month that begins November 1st. We're excited to bring boxing back to our shores of Bahamas. Wow, pretty cool, eh?
It is very cool. I have the card. I know everybody that's fighting on it.
Fair enough.
Jessica Camara is the headliner. She's now 10-3, and she is taking on Dahana Santana for the WBA World Welter that's vacant right now. Santana is 40-13-0. So, this is going to be a step up for Jessica.
Yeah.
Also on the card, we have Mary McGee, who is 27-4, and she's taking on somebody who has not been announced as of yet, or they have, but don't have the name as of yet. Also on the card, Logan Haller, who is 9-2-1, will be taking on Adriana Arjuo, who is 6-1-0. And rounding off this card, starting it off, is our girl OShea Jones, who is 1-0, looking to take on Simone Silva, who currently holds a record of 17-22-0.
O'Shea was a great interview. She was a great. Anyway, so there's an all-women card taking place in the Bahamas. Wouldn't that be fun? Fly down to Bahamas for a weekend, check out some fighting. Let's go, girls! Yeah. All right.
You're a big fan of the Bahamas, aren't you, Graham? You spent some time down there in your youth.
In my youth, I was stationed in Bermuda.
Oh, darn. Close enough, right? They're both.
But heck, Bahamas, Bermuda, they all got beaches. And
it's
beaches,
all the same.
Beaches, boxing, and beer.
What more can you want?
All right, there we go.
What more can you want?
Exactly. So let's see. At this particular point in the evening, we're typically joined by Tim Witherspoon, but I guess he's taking my place and having some ales out tonight.
I know. Yesterday he was at an event with none other than Mitch Green. I believe that event is a couple days, so I think he's going to be on hiatus this evening. It's always a blast when he's here, though. Definitely.
You mean he's working?
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there doing some stuff. I know. They've actually the city of Philadelphia has asked him to go out and start speaking at certain events as a representative of putting down the violence, put down the guns, pick up the gloves kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of violence going on in Philadelphia as of late. And, they've reached out to Tim and asked him to, speak on behalf and, try and gear these kids towards putting down the weapons and picking up gloves to settle the differences.
Well, as you and I know, Tim has seen it all.
Yes.
And,
yes.
and he's actually a great speaker, and more power to him. And I hope he is really an influence that makes a great impact on those young people down in Philly. Philly's a great boxing city, and there's a lot of great promoters down there right now promoting some great fights. So more power to Tim and the community down there. I hope he's successful at what he's doing for sure.
Yeah,
and we'll see him. We'll see him next week. We'll get an update anyway.
Well, yeah, we'll get the scoop. We'll hear what's up.
So what cards are you gonna? Okay, can we save Jake Paul to last?
Yeah, obviously we're saving Jake Paul to the last. First, I want to touch on it. There was a card today. Panama Cable Sports USA ESPN Plus. This is a card out of Italy. Guido Vanello taking on Jay McFarlane. This one's all Italian fighters. There was a WBC International Silver Super Welter title up for grabs. The EBU European Super Fly up for grabs. Also, the Federazione Pulistica Italian Super Welter vacant title up for grabs as well. So there was a card tonight. It was on USA ESPN Plus. You might be able to catch some of that if you guys are able to. Check it out. But that's not the cards we're going to really be touching on today. We're touching on the big ones, which is let's just start it off with the Taylor card. We got to start Taylor and Carabajal. This one's good, man. I can't wait to see this one. Taylor,
both undefeated, right?
Yeah, they're both undefeated. This is a big one, man. Taylor, she's now 21-0, 6 KOs. She cemented herself as the greatest female fighter on the planet by edging out Amanda Serrano in that epic fight for the ages. That sold-out night at Madison Square Garden earlier this year. The Irish superstar retained her undisputed lightweight world title after a fight of the year contender with Puerto Rico Serrano, the first women's boxing bout to headline the famous Madison Square Garden in its 140-year history, which was a groundbreaking event. Lots of viewers, lots of people in attendance. And she is going to be taking on Argentina's Carabajal, who is 19-0 with 2 KOs, and she is undefeated in all 19 of her professional contests since turning over in August of 2013. And the 32-year-old, she resides in Buenos Aires, is a former WBC Latino, South American, and Argentinian super featherweight champion, and is promoted by Argentine legend Marcos Medina. So, yeah, this is a big one. I can't wait to see Taylor in there. I'm a big fan of Katie Taylor. Keep it with the, the Irish. You know the way it is. But also on this card, we've got European featherweight champion Jordan Gill, who is currently holding a record of 27-1-1 with 8 KOs, puts his title on the line for the first time against Spain's 2-weight world champion Kiko Martinez, who is 43-11 and 2 with 30 knockouts in a fight that also doubles up as the eliminator for the IBF world title held by none other than Josh Warrington.
Right.
So this card's looking pretty awesome, man. Gill was knocked down in round 7 before being heavily bundled, to the floor. He got wrecked to the floor by his opponent. Looking unsteady on his legs, the 28-year-old was backed up into his own corner and subject to the constant barrage from Gouffari. But he showed tremendous heart and determination to pull off the massive comeback win. And then former IBF super bantamweight and featherweight world champion Martinez returns to the UK following his loss to Warrington at the First Direct Arena in Leeds back in March. He stopped Kid Galahad in 6 rounds to become his country's first ever 2-weight ruler last year and hopes to claim another British scalp as his brilliant career draws to an end. And then who I'm super excited to see in the ring. We profiled him over a year ago. Emerging Belfast super welterweight star, Gyarko. This kid, man, 12-0, 7 KOs. He fights on his second Taylor undercard as he defends his WBA international title against New York's undefeated Peter Dobson, who is 16-0 with 9 KOs in his third fight of 2022. While Irish lightweight contender Gary Cully, who's 14-0 with 8 KOs, fights under the Matchroom promotional banner for the first time with his opponent on this card. Also on the card, Rumford heavyweight sensation Johnny Fisher, who's 6-0 with 5 KOs, brings the Rumford Bull Army to Northwest London for a scheduled 6-round clash with Italy's Alfonso Domani, who is 5-2 with 2 KOs. And there's action for Takeley light heavyweight prospect John Hedges, who's 6-0 with 2 KOs, and Lutton super welter Jordan Reynolds, who's 3-0 with 1 KO. I can't wait. I can't wait for this card. Definitely going to be a very interesting one.
Did you mention our girl Ellie Scottney?
I was about to get to it, but yes, Ellie Scottney. Yes, she is. She's definitely one to be watching on this.
Yeah, yeah. So you know what's interesting about, shall we say, the makeup of the card? They call the heavyweight division the glamour division, yet the heavyweights are way down the bottom. I think they're only doing a 4-rounder actually.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, Fisher's scheduled for 6 rounds, and yeah, it's down on the bottom of the card. Higher up on the card, we got Mickey Elson is going to be fighting Thomas Hart, and that's for the British Board of Control, the Central Area Light Heavy. And then we got Katie Taylor taking on Cara Bell. Also, Mary Romero is who's taking on Ellie Scottney, and
right.
that one's going to be pretty good, man. I'm
Yep.
rooting for my girl Ellie Scottney to come through with a victory on this one. She is taking on Mary Romero, who is 8-2 in her career, and she's on a win streak, man. She's won her last 6. So, Ellie Scottney, she's 5-0. Hopefully she keeps stays undefeated and comes through with that EBU super bantam. It'll be great to see this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're picking Katie Taylor.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sticking with my Irish.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you look at her and she's built. She's powerful. She can move. She's lightning fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck to that. Is it Argentinian?
Yes, I believe so.
Argentinian girl.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's undefeated, but good luck to her.
Hey, like Sugar says in the famous words of Sugar, you better got your track shoes on, because you know what, Katie Taylor definitely knows how to run around that big ring, and you better got your stamina right. You better put in all your skipping. You better done all your road work, and you better have your running shoes on, because you know what, it's not going to be easy to hit something that moves quite as well as she does. Katie Taylor. It's the reason why she's the top dog in the game, man, and. It's going to definitely be a step up for Bell to get in there and fight for these titles, man.
Yeah, and it's being held at the Wembley Arena, so it's And the funny thing is if you take a quick look, I'm sure you have, but take a quick look. There are other fights going on in England. This is a huge fight night tomorrow, this weekend, actually, including tonight. You have fights around the world going on, not just. There's 3 or 4 cards in England alone. Then there's cards going on in France and Germany and Spain and Mexico, right across Mexico. I couldn't believe it when I saw how many Mexican fights were going on. So, and the girls are increasing in volume in terms of their appearances at these locations. So I think more than anything over the past year, and I probably sound like a broken record now, but as you and I both know, women are increasing that excitement level. And, to have Katie Taylor basically headline this card, which features a heavyweight clash, but it's way beneath, it's like, it's hardly worth, it's worth mentioning.
It's worth mentioning because they're up and coming. They're sub 10 fights. It's just going to show you, there's a local title up for grabs. So, they do have guys moving through their ranks. It's going to be nice to see the new future of the heavyweight division, because these guys, they're young, they're going to start climbing up. These guys that are in the top are eventually going to age.
I'll tell you who is the future of the heavyweight.
I already know who the future of the heavyweight is, and I can say it right now, and that is our man, Jared Big Baby Anderson. He is the next big thing in the heavyweight division. I can't wait to see this kid back in action.
And he's 12-0, 12 knockouts. He's about to fight Jerry Forrest at Madison Square Gardens on December 10th.
Yep. Yeah.
And I had that lined up, but
you had a asterisk beside that one.
That's for my boy Carl.
That's right. That's for Carl. Carl, you heard that, right? Yeah, that's just for you, brother.
For our boys over at Last Bell Boxing.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of Americans coming up, and there's a lot of really brash heavyweights coming up. Yes, Eddie Hearn can put 1 or 2 names in front of our faces every single day, but they're the same 2 names. Yeah. And quite frankly, when the English get to see Big Baby, they'll know what we've been talking about for about a year now.
Yeah, they'll see it. They'll see it. It's just a matter of time. You know, he's being called the next big thing. He is a blue chip prospect. Is how they call him. You know, he is there right now. He's moved from that prospect, that name, man. He's contender. He's definitely coming up those ranks now, and he's making noise. You know, he's getting in there and chefing up those knockouts like he knows how to do. Also, we got in action. Can't wait for this one. Jojo Diaz taking on William Zepedía. I'm a big fan of Zepedía. You know, out to prove they are worthy of fighting for a world championship fight in the near future. You know, South El Montes, Joseph Jojo Diaz Jr., 32-2-1, will face Mexico's undefeated rising star, William Zepedía, who is 26-0 with 23 knockouts, of San Mateo Antico. Mexico in a dangerous 12-round lightweight main event that will be broadcast live, guys. This one starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time. You know, in the Crossroads matchup, former IBF junior welterweight titleist Diaz Jr. has his eyes locked on continuing his campaign to take over the lightweight division despite a minor setback after facing Devin Haney in December of 2021. Then we got undefeated Zepedía will be looking to climb the ranks with a victory over Diaz, giving him a spot to become the top contender for a world title. With an impressive knockout ratio over 90%, Zepedía will be looking to impress fans with his aggressive style. We all know that he definitely has an aggressive style. Definitely like watching this guy do work in the ring, man. He's one of those volume punchers, you know, not afraid to throw, not afraid to get hit. And then one of the welterweight division's fastest growing superstars from California, Alexis Roca, 20-1 with 13 KOs, will return to the ring as the co-feature in a 12-round main event match between former IBF super feather world champion, you know, Jojo and Zepedía. So I can't wait to see Roca back in action. This one's going to be good, man. I'm super excited. This card's got a lot of great fighters on here that we're going to be able to see. We got Hector Valdez, who's going to be taking on Max Ornells. Valdez is 15-0, looking to stay undefeated. You know, we got some young up-and-comers that you guys need to watch here. Definitely, this card is going to be a good one to watch. Gets underway, 9 p.m. You know, you find that one on DAZN. You know, it's Oscar De La Hoya promotion. So, you know, it's going to be filled with the Mexicans, and you know it's going to be nothing but fun because you know what? Those Mexicans, they definitely know how to put on a show. They definitely love throwing those punches, and we love watching it, man. I can't.
We do. And you know what's interesting, too, is the number of, shall we say, American fighters of Mexican descent who are now fighting in either, particularly Southern California, but across the southwest of America right now. And you see these names all the time, and they're popping up with much more greater frequency. Boxing is certainly, you know, picking up where it left off a few years ago. Oscar De La Hoya may have stepped out of the ring, but I think he's coming back in the ring. I think he's getting his marriage problems sorted out finally, which allows him to do a lot more of what he really wants to do, and that's push a lot of these young guys up through the ranks. So when I see, you know, there's a lot of, you know what it's going to amount to really? It's going to be like a West Coast versus East Coast, but then, yeah. You got Philadelphia, you got New York, you got Boston along the East Coast. But now we've seen some good fights out of Tampa and Atlanta as well. Not so much in the Midwest. I mean, if there's any listeners out there who can correct me on that one, I can't think of any Midwestern.
No, not really.
Detroit is not Midwest. So anyway, I'm just saying, like you know, like you've got a lot of West Coast, and this is the mix of the Mexican influence on the West Coast is making that a hot spot right now. Definitely. It seems like every day in the news segment, I'm going over some card that's happening in some city in California, that would put any card on the East Coast to shame, quite frankly, because these guys are excellent fighters and they're getting their recognition. They're certainly getting the crowds out.
Oh, definitely. The crowds in these events, man, down in Mexico are crazy. Like, they're very responsive to what's going on in the ring, which, you know, in turn helps these fighters, man, perform, which puts on great shows. What I love is that, Golden Boy is going to be showing their prelims on the Golden Boy Boxing YouTube channel, and we got some good fighters going to be on there, man. El Nino Chavez, who's 3-0 with 3 KOs, will participate in a 6-round featherweight fight against Houston, Texas. Leva, who is 3-3-2. Also on that, we got Pablo Cruz taking on Salvatore. Also, we got the Hawaiian Dallas Calapia, who's 3-0 with 3 KOs, taking on Florida's Jeremy Potts, who's 2-0 with 2 KOs. So the prelims on the YouTube channel are going to be just as exciting as this card. Honestly, These young guys, they get in there, they heart, determination, and drive, and they leave it all in that ring. Definitely, it's a great card.
One of the things I forgot to mention in the prelim to our show, and I just don't want to forget about it. The reason I bring it up now, Connor Benn had to hand in his license to the BBC, the BBB of C. I'm not sure if that ends his career, but I remember we were talking about it a few weeks back, and I'd made mention of the fact that, in my humble opinion, I would have thought that Eddie Hearn would have demanded of his boxers, all of his boxers on his roster, to take a test and just to settle it for once and for all that he has clean fighters, and this was one bad apple and it shouldn't spoil the whole bunch. But Connor Benn has handed in his license. He cannot box, and nor should he. I mean, he was a black eye for boxing, quite frankly. A shout out to our friends in the UK who are watching right now, especially Tushma Peen. Thanks very much for your comments. Appreciate it. And remember, please correct me if ever I'm saying stuff that's wrong.
For sure.
All right. Where was I? You were going through some fights. Sorry to interrupt.
So guys, remember 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jojo Diaz, William Zepadia, headlining the card. Prelims you can find on Golden Boys boxing YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. That one gets under at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely mark that one on your calendars, guys. It's going to be great. Then we got to get to it. Starting 10 p.m. Eastern, Sky Fight, ESPN Plus. We got Vasily Lomachenko taking on our man Ortiz. This one's going to be great. Three-weight world champion will make his Triumph New York City return in a 12-round main event Saturday against Jermaine the Technician Ortiz. This one's happened at Hulu Theater in Madison Square Garden. I can't wait to get, Lomachenko. I love watching this guy get in the ring. 16-2, 11 KOs, has a resume that is unmatched in modern boxing. 2-time Olympic gold medalist for the Ukraine. He had 396 and 1 amateur record, won a world title in his 3rd pro fight, became a 3-weight world champion in his 12th bout. Lomachenko unified 3 of the 4 lightweight titles before a loss to Teofimo Lopez in October of 2020, which derailed his quest for the undisputed supremacy. Last year, he came back with a one-sided victories over Nakatani and Comey. Lomachenko is 5-0 at Madison Square Garden entertainment venues, including the win over Comey and his one-sided derbying of fellow 2-time Olympic gold medalist Guillermo Rodino. He arrived in Southern California last month to resume his career and work towards his goal of capturing the undisputed lightweight title, which is currently held by Devin the Dream Haney. So this is going to be a big one. Ortiz, 16-0-1, 8 KOs from Massachusetts, enters this bout hoping to stun another former world champion on the comeback trail. He last fought May 21st in Las Vegas, wearing down Jamal Superfight Herring down to the stretch to earn the 10-round unanimous decision. Ortiz is a 6-year pro who piled his trade on the New England club scene. 3 months before the Herring triumph, Ortiz won the NABF lightweight strap with a clear decision over Nahir Albright. Ortiz made his top rank on ESPN debut in April of 2021 with an 8 draw against Joseph Adorno, surviving a pair of knockdowns in one of the year's best action battles, to be honest. In addition to Torres, 3 of his Olympic teammates from Tokyo will see action under lights. Tiger Johnson, we've talked about him, 5-0, 4 KOs, makes his New York City debut in the 6-rounder. Welterweight, featherweight silver medalist Duke Reagan, 7-0, 1 KO, steps up in his first scheduled 8-rounder. Troy Isley, 7-0, 4 KOs, tests the junior middleweight waters in the 8-rounder. Cleveland-born lightweight sensation Abdullah Mason, 4-0 with 3 KOs, will fight his 6-rounder. While junior lightweight Haven Brady Jr., 7-0, 4 KOs, makes his division debut in an 8-rounder. So, guys, be ready for this card. You're definitely going to want to see it. Definitely going to want to see this one.
Yep. So, having said all that, just a quick pick here. I like Ortiz.
Yeah,
he's young, he's brash, what we like to see. But I think my money's on Lomachenko.
I'd have to say I'd have to put my money on Lomachenko as well. I'm just looking at this undercard, and honestly, I just can't wait. I've been following every single one of these guys on this undercard, man. Robeisy Ramirez, 10-1, Duke Reagan, Troy Isley, Richard Torres Jr., Abdullah Mason, Nico Ali Walsh, Haven Brady Jr., Delonte Johnson. You couldn't ask for a better undercard of great up and coming fighters. Definitely, you got to put your set your PVRs for this one, guys, and definitely watch it. Definitely record it, watch it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be action packed. This card, main card, getting underway at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Hey, before you dig into another fight, let's address this comment. Because how you doing?
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You know what? I'm going to pose this question to you right off the cuff, seeing you're ready for it. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Name your top 5 heavyweights right now. Don't include Tyson Fury. Don't include Tyson Fury. Top 5 heavyweights.
Wow, that is really on the spot right now, eh?
Yep, right on the spot.
Usyk.
Even though Fury calls him a cruiserweight.
Yeah, but see, Fury says that, but people forget that he had one of his toughest fights was against Steve Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight coming up, and that was his toughest weight, was a smaller guy. Like Tyson Fury said this himself, that was one of his toughest matches. That was the match where he actually used his big 6'9" frame just to lean on him because he couldn't outbox him because he was just faster. Which is the reason why I'm picking Usyk to beat Fury if they ever fight. But anyway, that's a topic for another show.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with Usyk. Man, top 5. Does it have to be in order? Or can I just name 5?
No, just name 5. Top 5.
Okay. Usyk, Joe Joyce, Wilder is still in there. 2 more. Wow. Okay. Usyk, Joe Joyce, Wilder. Shoot, man. Those last 2 are sorry. I'll still put Joshua in at 5. Yeah, I'll put him at 5. Because I mean, he lost to Usyk, it's not like he lost to a bum. He lost to Andy Ruiz, but he wronged that right. But in the rematch there, shoot. And then the last one, you know what?
Is it Dillian White or is it Derek Chisora?
It is definitely not Chisora. You know what? I'm gonna go with the young American. What's his name?
Big Baby, Jared Anderson.
Yes. I'll throw him in there.
He scores it. Home run. So there you go.
Yeah.
As for Ice Wall come. Thanks for joining us and thanks for asking that question. Yeah, because we just asked Cedric the man. All right. Well, where are you at there, Mike? I forgot where you at.
We were just talking on. We were touching on this awesome undercard of the Lomachenko.
Yes. As I was hooking this up, I was listening to it, and that is a crazy undercard. Every single one of those fights are they're not household names, but they're boxers that could be household names in a couple of years. Yeah, former Olympians and just high level boxers. Like all those names that you named. I'm very excited. This is on the Lomachenko card.
Blue chip prospects is what we're calling them. Yes, Lomachenko, man. So Robeisy Ramirez, Duke Reagan, Troy Isley, Richard Torres Jr., Abdullah Mason, Nico Ali Walsh, Haven Brady Jr., Delonte Johnson. Huge undercard.
Yes.
I could honestly say the talent on this undercard is probably some of the best, if not the best undercard this year that I've seen.
That reminds me there's something, a show that we can do, maybe not right now, but maybe prepare for is a show about the top 10 prospects. And then maybe like a year from now, we'll do a review and see where those prospects are now. Yeah. I gotta give props. Shout out to my boy, Mike Carter and OJ Atogwe, 2 former pro football players, but heavy into boxing. And they're the ones that actually suggested that to me. So,
You know,
Shout
it's
out to
funny.
them. I know they're
I just
listening.
had that. I just had that same conversation with our producer today.
Oh yeah, nice,
Yes.
nice.
And so it's good. We're on the same page then. That's perfect.
Yes.
Well, let me throw a twist into it.
All right.
All right.
What we've been talking about is similar to the music industry, creating a top 10 or maybe a top 20 and adjusting it on a week by week or month by month basis according to every single fight that occurs. So you have and whether that be pound for pound or on a division by division basis, because we're redesigning our website and we were looking for ideas as to what other content to put in there. And that was one of the big ideas that's been floating around for a long time, taking a look at the prospects as compared to the established. So, for example, as you listed off the top 5, it's a pretty well established list, notwithstanding debates at the lower end. But at the end of it, you've got some prospects in there like Jared Anderson. I'm telling you, he's gonna change that heavyweight division within the next year.
Yeah, I believe so.
I digress.
Honestly, there's a bunch of names that I could mention, man, that are undefeated, big guys that are coming up, man. Arslanbek Magomedov, we can't forget about him. Philip Hargrove, Tony Yoka. Okay, and F.A. Jagba. People forgetting about him. You know, Ajit Kabayel. We got what's his name? Vladsy Serenko.
Richard Torres
Jr., who's fighting this weekend on this card. Bekdidor Jalalovov, the Kazakhstan, right? The Kazakhstanian. Man, we've got Arslan Ilyav. Man, these guys are all undefeated coming up these ranks, and these are big guys. They're not small. So there's these guys, and they're climbing up through these ranks slowly and surely, and we are going to be seeing these big heavyweights on these cards soon enough, man. Dempsey McKean out of Australia. We can't forget about him, and he's 22-0 right now. There's some
a heavyweight, also a heavyweight.
All these names that I've mentioned are heavyweights, man.
And
Mike Belagon, guy's 20-0, but this guy, he's tapping out at his age. He's 39 years old, but this is just to show you that there's a lot of people here, man. Edjit Kebayel, the German, he's only 30. He's 22-0, man. There's a lot of undefeated guys here, man. George Aris, We've got a lot of undefeated heavyweights that are coming up this rank, and this is just guys that are in this, top. These names are in the top 50 of heavyweights ranked in the world right now. So,
and heavyweights help boxing in general, because people, for the casual fan, people just want to see two huge guys fight each other. It's like, it's just something to see two big guys that are just bigger than the average human being trying to kill each other. There's something about that that attracts the casual fan, which is why the past couple of years, with the heavyweight division has been exciting. Female boxing has been exciting too. So just overall in general, it's just helping boxing.
And you know what else is exciting?
What's that?
Jake Paul.
No, I was just about to say it.
Listen, the MMA world might be very sad tomorrow when they see one of their heroes get knocked the F out by a YouTuber. Listen, people, I know these guys talk a lot of trash on YouTube, but I'm sure you guys did too. Like, I did some research on their training, and they're actually taking their training seriously. Like, he brought in, talking about Steve. I didn't even know Chad Dawson. I know he brought in Steve Cunningham for sparring. Like, he's bringing in legit sparring partners, and he has the money to do it, so he's paying them. And Jake
Paul is crediting his training this time to Chad Dawson.
Wow.
He brought him in, man, to prepare him. We're talking ex-light heavyweight champion Chad Dawson.
Yes, man. Yes.
And he's insisting that Jake Paul's skills are on point, man. And he was skeptical at first, but he was left impressed, he says, after their sparring and training for this upcoming fight.
I'm sure. Go ahead. Sorry, Graham. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we can all agree Jake Paul packs a powerful punch. Okay. But what he lacked was the experience to become known as a boxer. And and now going up against Anderson Silva, who's 47 years old? I don't have.
There's a reason. There's a reason why he's not in the UFC anymore.
Who is the only person that Jake Paul has fought so far with a legitimate boxing license?
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the other thing. These guys, again, they talk a lot of trash on social media, but like their strategy is actually pretty smart. Because if you think about it, look at his trajectory of his competition. So his first fight, he just fought some random YouTuber, right? Whatever, fought some random YouTuber. His next fight was against Nate Robinson, who was at least a professional athlete, right? So a slight step. At least it was a professional athlete. His next fight against Ben Askren was an actual MMA fighter. So again, a slight step up. The next fight after that was the other, wasn't it the other UFC guy? Woodley. So again, that another step up, because he was actually a former champion, right? So every one of his fights is actually a slow step up, and now he's fighting Anderson Silva. So yeah, man, he like I said, man, they talk a lot of trash on social media, but if you see, you really read between the lines, like they're actually moving smart, the smart boxing moves that they're doing. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But Graham heard me say it before. There's a reason why Anderson Silva is not in the UFC. If he was still Anderson Silva, he would still be in the UFC. So honestly,
Anderson Silva hasn't been the same after he snapped his leg in half, man. Come on. Remember that, guys? You remember that big
yeah.
That's right.
I remember that. But listen, I'll tell you though, Anderson Silva at one point in his prime was the most dangerous man on this planet. Hands down. Man is a master in Muay Boran, not just Muay Thai. We're talking about a martial arts that's ancient, like hand to weapon, combat to the death. Like this guy knows moves that you can't even use in the ring. He's a very skilled individual. He has a boxing background. You know, he's won his boxing matches. So, you know, is this a test for Jake Paul? Who knows? Could Silva beat him? It's a big possibility, yeah. But Chad Dawson, on the other hand, we're talking, you know, American former professional boxer who competed for 18 years, held multiple lightweight world championships, says that he was skeptical until this time that he started training him, and he's saying that Jake Paul has some legitimate skill. So
don't forget, he's also getting paid very well. He probably wants to continue to get paid very well to come back for other fights. So you got to consider that too.
Of course. But you know what? We're gonna have to wait and see. That's all. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
I don't bet on fights but my gut feeling is Jake Paul is gonna win. If Anderson Silva wins, it'll be by like a close split decision. I don't know. I just, again, there's a reason why he's not in the UFC anymore, because he's not the same guy. So we'll see.
If we were super skilled at this, we'd be looking at who the judges are and what their records are and blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Mike, do you happen to know who's on the undercard of that fight?
Yeah. So in the preliminary streaming bouts, we got Jeremiah Milton, 6-0 with 5 KOs, is facing Quinton Sumter. I've profiled these guys before. This is going to be some pretty good fights here, man. In a 6-round contest between the undefeated heavyweights. There's some more heavyweights coming up. Plus former featherweight champion Suarez, who's 34-1 with 14 KOs, faces undefeated knockout artist Shadisa Green, who is 10-0 with 9 KOs. And in an 8-round women's super middleweight bout, Glendale's Danny Flores, 10-0 with 2 KOs. One of Arizona's most promising prospects will look to show out in front of his hometown fans against Edgar Ortiz Jr., who is 8-3-2 with 4 KOs. So yeah, there's some great little undercards here. I can't wait.
Well, that ties into what I was saying, because this is taking place in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So adjacent to California. So we were just talking about the influence of the Mexican. The influence of Mexican boxers in Southern California and Southern U.S. states bordering Mexico these days, and the emergence or reemergence of the popularity of boxing. And so to hold an event, I believe, is it the Gila River? Is that where it's being held at?
That event is being held at, I believe it's
Gila River Casino.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it is at that.
So so in other words, it's a black tie event basically being held at a brand new casino out in Arizona, not in Las Vegas. But you know what I mean? So there you go. Another example of boxing bringing popularity to a new area. We were talking earlier, Cedric, about an all-female card happening tonight in Bahamas, and how the Ministry of Sport was saying they're really excited to have the influence of women's boxing in Bahamas, and especially among young women, not only as a sport, but also as a mechanism to teach self-defense and also raise awareness for breast cancer, because it's Breast Awareness Cancer Month down there. So it's interesting to see how boxing is making an impact on these communities around the world and bringing an awful lot of money, I might say, not just to the boxers who are fighting, but to the promoters, to the events managers. Anyway, good for boxing all around. Good stuff.
Definitely. Showtime Sports has released a full episode of its Emmy award-winning series, All Access, Paul versus Silva, so they can bring the fans behind the scenes and into Paul and Silva's private lives and training camps as they each prepare for this event. If you want to see that, just go to the Showtime Sports YouTube channel to watch it.
I thought being a YouTuber meant you were online all the time. Anyway. This is me picking my nose. 20,000 likes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, if it gets you likes.
Is there one of those 24/7 things for the Lomachenko?
No, just the All Access for the Jake Paul and Silva. That's Showtime. Their award-winning Emmy series, All Access. So so guys, if you want, you go check that out after. Check out their YouTube channel, watch it. I know I'm gonna, because I want to kind of check it out and see what it's about. Yeah, man. But honestly, that fight's gonna be on during the actual fights that I want to watch. So I'm probably gonna be going to YouTube for that one.
Is there fights on tonight?
No, there was a fight on earlier that was shown in Italy. You could probably catch the replay on the Zone, I think it was.
Well, that all female card is okay. I don't know if it's being broadcast or not, but that's on tonight. There are a whack of we were just cruising through some of the nominal fights that are occurring around the world, and we're blown away at how many fights were going on tonight. Of which we didn't announce which ones were being broadcast or streamed, but there are quite a few fights going on tonight, not to mention the big fights going on tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Were you on the air with us when we were picking who's going to win between Lomachenko and Ortiz?
No, I was just logging in. But
you have your 2 cents on that one?
I never ever got a chance to watch Ortiz fight again, so I'm just gonna go with Lomachenko by default. I'm not sure, and no one wants to lose their. Yeah. The guy Ortiz is undefeated. Nobody wants to lose that undefeated record, so he's definitely gonna fight hard. And he knows, Ortiz knows that this fight could really help his career.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's what his mindset is on. So we'll see if he has the skills and the focus to do it.
Now, was it Devin Haney who said he's going to drop weight to avoid Lomachenko? Was it Devin Haney?
Avoid? I don't think he would actually say.
I might have to Google that one for you, because I'm pretty sure it came up in one of my news stories. I'm not kidding. Devin Haney drops weight to avoid
that I don't think that's a quote from him. That's probably whoever wrote that story said that's what the narrative is. But I don't think Devin Haney would say, I don't want to fight Lomachenko, so I'm going to drop weight to duck him. I don't know. I don't think that would come from Haney's camp. I'm assuming it's just a reporter.
Okay. So Paulie Malignaggi predicts that Haney will vacate his title instead of facing Lomachenko and losing badly to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that.
Okay.
Paulie had a couple of like 10-15 minute rants about Lomachenko and Haney, or Haney predicting Haney's going to duck Lomachenko. So That's where that comes from.
Yeah, well,
Right.
yeah, they're saying that he's expected to vacate the 135 titles.
Is that because he's training Lomachenko?
I am not sure. No, Paulie's not training. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I think Dave and Haney they'll fight eventually. I think so.
Hey, what do you think about this whole Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fiasco?
I don't think about it because no, seriously, because it's it's just too much. There's so much more boxing things that we can talk about than just random. I know everyone wants to see this fight, but I don't know. I'm just kind of tired of talking about what's going on, what happened, and the rumors. I don't like to have discussions about rumors because we don't know the truth. Yeah, what might happen, what didn't happen, who should we put the blame on? That's all. Yeah. That's all just a waste of time, man. We just talk about the facts, talk about the fights that are actually happening, talk about the fighters that are in the ring, that are going to be in the ring, and are going to fight. That's what's more exciting to me to talk about.
So do you want to weigh in then on the Katie Taylor fight?
Katie Taylor. I must be behind in the news. Who's she fighting?
Oh, wow.
Well, see.
Wow.
Yeah, she's headlining at the Wembley Arena tomorrow night in London.
Yes.
A really big card, facing an Argentinian, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Undefeated, 19-0. Were you saying, Mike? 19-0.
Yeah, she's 19-0, 2 knockouts. So,
so two undefeated champs.
Carabal's?
Oh, yeah, right.
Carbajal or something like that. Carbajal, I think it is. Well,
she's got cojones step into the ring against Katie Taylor.
Like I said, she better put on her track shoes tonight, though. Or sorry, she better put on those track shoes, man. Because that ring is as big as it is.
Well, let's see if because how old is Katie Taylor now? She must be in her mid to late 30s. Because the only reason why I bring that up is because I always mention this when we talk about fighters or just athletes in general, their age. There's a reason why pro athletes have to retire in their late 30s. You still maintain your strength as you get older, but like the athleticism, like your speed, your reaction time, your reflexes, those things start to slow down when you're in your mid to late 30s.
And she's 36.
Yeah, exactly. So she's right at that right at that age. So it's I don't know. I think Katie Taylor will win, but I'm assuming this girl will put up a good fight. Like it'll probably be. I don't think Katie's gonna stop her.
30,
it'll be
32. So they're both in their 30s, man. They're both in that mid 30 range.
Nah, 32. That's still early 30s. That's still in your kind of prime. But like even 36, that's just the beginning of your retired, close to retired years. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Katie Taylor by unanimous, but I think it's one of those cards, one of those fights where even though Katie's gonna win by unanimous decision, the rounds will still be close.
Yeah.
All right. So the numbers don't exactly tell the full story. The numbers, if you don't see the fight, you just see the scores. You'll see Katie Taylor won unanimous, but if you actually watch the fight, I think it'll be much closer than what the scores will say.
So who are you going to feature on your scorecard on Sunday?
Lomachenko, and Jermaine Ortiz. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, it should be. Lomachenko's another one who's getting up there too. I think he's probably 35 or something like that, 35, 36. So these fights that he wants. And that's one of the reasons why I think whether it's Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson or whoever Top Rank puts him up against, it'll be a close fight just for that factor, alone of the age, mid 30 factor. The mid 30s factor.
The mid 30s factor. Is that your technical term for it?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's when you migrate to become an analyst or a commentator.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you wake up 35 and all of a sudden you're a broadcaster.
I mean, look what happened to Mike. What else we got happening, guys?
Not much really, other than what's going on in the press, really. Well, Jake Paul and this stuff, and the Katie Taylor's pretty much taken up everything about boxing this weekend, really. White versus
And that-
Franklin, Gorman versus Wardley. Official for November 26th. We can talk about that.
There are some really good fights coming up, actually.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
not just this weekend, but next month.
Yes.
November's pretty stacked, actually.
Yeah. We got the Bivol Ramirez fight. It's taking place on November the 5th. Also, Rakhimov. We got Edwards, Alverdo, Jonas, and DeCarry. Oh man, we got a bunch coming up, man. I can't wait.
When does Fury beat up Shizora?
That takes place December the 3rd.
Oh, that's December. Okay.
Yeah, but before that, we got Zepadia, Progress, White and Franklin, Parker and Ryder, Alakanuli and Bentley. So there's lots of fights to watch before we even get into December. And the December is turning out to be a pretty nice looking month too, because after Chisora and Fury, it's Estrada, Chocolito, Warrington, Lopez, Crawford, Avanisan, Lopez, and Pedraza, Inoue and Butler. Like, it's rounding out to be a really good end of the year in boxing. I'm pretty excited.
Do either of you know if Bouts Ennis is fighting anyone soon or not?
I don't believe he's got anything.
I just read something that he put in to try to request to be the mandatory for Earl Spence. I read that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that somewhere. So
that must be tough. I mean, being as good as you are and being out of work, so to speak.
It sucks. It's unfortunate. Especially carrying a 29-0 record with 27 knockouts.
Wow. Wow. I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah, like Jaron Ennis is, he's no joke in that ring. His last fight was against Castillo Clayton. That one was a KO in the second round.
Yep.
I'd like to see him again, man. I do enjoy watching some Bouts get at it.
Yeah, he's the future. He's definitely the future. A lot of people are predicting him to beat Earl Spence and Crawford right now, but I think a lot of people are forgetting because it's been a while. Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, what Bouts Ennis is doing right now to his competition, Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford were doing that exact same thing 6-7 years ago against the same level of competition. Yeah. But when you fight the top guys all the time, there's gonna be a lot of close fights. It's not gonna be all exciting stoppages. So I think that's what that's what people are missing right now. All the people, like even a lot of the so-called boxing experts, even Hall of Fame boxers, are picking Bouts Ennis right now to beat Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. I'm like, slow down, man. Like let the guy step up first. Yeah, he definitely passes the eye test.
Right.
Just like Spence and Crawford passed the eye test. Just like Spence and Crawford passed the eye test 5-6 years ago. That's what Bouts is doing now. So yes.
Well, exactly, because Bouts is only 25, right? Spence is what, 32?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's definitely where they were at that point in their career. He's on par. Definitely, he's the next big name, man. We got time to see it. It's not like he's retiring tomorrow. He's only 25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is there much more to talk about? We're almost at that hour.
Yeah, we almost are. Let's have a quick think here. If we pushed all the buttons.
Shout out to Trish Mappin AZ from the UK. Thanks for joining in today and dropping comments. Thanks for Ice Wallow. COME. I didn't want to say it first.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's great.
I bounced over that earlier. No one noticed, so I thought.
Yeah, I know. I did. That's why I kind of made sure that I didn't do it this time. That's a good one. Yo, Ice, that's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right, lads. Well, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you on Sunday for your respective shows. I hope there's a good knockout.
There's going to be. Come on, Richard Torres Jr. is fighting this weekend. Do you remember his last one? He almost killed me.
Yeah. On the Lomachenko? He's on the Lomachenko undercard?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. He's on there along with Troy Isley, Duke Reagan, and all the boys. So, guys,
Nice. What time does that start?
That one's a 10 p.m. start. So, guys, find the way to find the live streams on the internet to check out that prelims and that undercard, because I'm telling you right now, that is the future of boxing on that undercard. That right there.
Where are they fighting? Are they fighting? Are they in England or something?
It's taking place at night. It's taking place at late.
Where? I'm just wondering why it's 10 p.m. start.
It's taking place at Madison Square Garden in New York. It's because they're probably only going to show, if it's starting at 10 p.m., they're probably only going to show, maybe three of the fights.
Oh, so the undercard is going to be free online then?
Yeah. So the undercard will be free online somewhere, guys. You'll have to find it. I know there's many places out there where you can watch it. I don't know if Top Rank. I think Top Rank has one. Like a before the bell kind of thing. Yeah. So it should be live on there. Definitely. I'm pretty sure that undercard starts at 6:15 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah. It's
full fight night.
Yeah, it's a full fight night, right? So definitely you'll probably see 2 fights on the 10 p.m., which will be the main event and the co-main, and then everything else will probably be on the undercard on their YouTube channel. So definitely got to check that out, guys. Make sure you watch that. You heard it here from me. I profiled all these guys over the last 2 years. Watch these kids. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being said, thank you all the Talkin' Fight fans around the world for tuning in today. Thank you for all the guys who dropped all the comments in the sidebar. We got to get to work so you guys don't have to. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, new topics.
Bye, Mike. Bye, Cedric.
Peace.